this is the thing that like I don't say to many people in like the past interviews and stuff. It was like I was trying to get the sound right, you know. So I started at 9. This is about 10-15 minutes past 9, and I was just getting a bit warm and flustered. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the treble was too much. It was, you know, just little things like it was too bassy, and but meanwhile trying to still get the crowd warmed up. So it was like mid gig, I was like tuning my guitar and like trying to do this, and literally, right, a woman came up to me as this is all happening, and she was like, "Just to let you know, Taylor Swift has just walked in." As I'm bent down trying to tune my guitar, and then I just thought to myself, like, this is the last thing I need to hear. Like, this is the last. Like,
tell her to come back in half an hour, please.
Like, why would you even say that? Like, I just thought like to myself. So I kind of was tuning him. Like, no, seriously, Taylor Swift has just walked in. And I looked up at her, and I looked behind, and there she was. No, she's not on it. She's a she. There she was, Taylor Swift walking through the room. Oh, and even thinking back to it now and talking about the story, I still get real nervous, like, because it was like I was like,
it's Taylor Swift.
I just didn't know what to do. Yeah. Like, my mind went blank. I didn't know what to sing, what to say. Like, I probably forgot how to play guitar for like a second. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, oh my goodness. So I actually unplugged the guitar. And I muted the 3 channels, and I plugged out the guitar and I set the guitar down, and then everyone was going, "What are you doing? Taylor Swift, like, give me a minute, like, please, like, hold on, Brazil, like, I'm setting up the sound." And like, they all thought I like pureness like trapped it and be like, "Nah, I'm not doing this anymore." So like, I was like, "Give me a second, please." So like, I just took a minute to myself to like get my stuff together, like tune my guitar really slowly, just try to get down, and then I just thought, you know what? Let's go for it. Like, I just knew how like, you see the amount of young musicians on TikTok, right? Just alone, or YouTube. Think of every musician, songwriter in the world coming up would dream of being in this position that I'm in. And I'm really lucky to be like conscious of that. So I was just like, right, well, I didn't think like, right, this is going to change my life, or she's going to like take me on tour, or like, you know, she's going to even have any interaction with me. Did I hope for a photo? Yeah, because people aren't going to believe this. But like the Rita Ora story, like, you know, all the other people I've met, I just thought, you know, it might only get a photo here, and, you know, that might be it. Still pretty cool though. So I just started into my set, and within about 10 minutes I had her up on the dance floor singing and dancing to Tell Me Ma.
No way.
You know, Taylor Swift dancing to Tell Me Ma.
Wow. What was she dancing like? She a good dancer?
She was just dancing.
She was mediocre.
No, she was honest. No, the really cool thing about her was like she just blended in like every other like person in the bar. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing that comforted me when I started in the singing. I was like, well, do you know what? Like, she probably don't go out much. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's probably never in a bar.
Of all the things to say about Taylor Swift, like,
yeah,
probably doesn't go out much.
Like, well, listen, come on, do you know what I mean? Like, when's Taylor Swift ever in a bar in Belfast drinking margaritas? That's what I meant.
Was that what she was drinking?
Margaritas.
Because I had messaged my girlfriend. Her sister is like the biggest Taylor Swift fan. So I messaged her the other day, and I was like, we're getting this fella on, because I sent her the link to the news article, and she was like, oh my word, like, that's mad, he got to meet her, like, that should have been me and all this here. She actually sent me a question. She said she said, what was she drinking? So she was drinking margaritas. She wants to know, was she in a private booth or just randomly in the bar?
No, she was just in the bar. Like, do you know, like,
and low key, I think Danielle would want to know, what did she smell like? Like, what sort of perfume was she wearing?
Nah, I didn't.
She smells like a metal.
I don't know about. I wasn't like that weird. Like, I wasn't.
Sniffing her hair and all.
Yeah, Taylor. But she did give me a hug. So like, this is where it gets to part 2. Do you know what I mean? So like, I started singing and that, and I'm just, well, first of all, I thought of like, you know what, like, yeah, like, she's probably not gonna know much. Like, I have to give her a good night here in Belfast. Like, and I just thought to myself, no, I've like worked for like 10 years doing these gigs. Let's just be me. Let's just do what I do, and you know what I mean, and be confident in my ability and show what I got. And it was funny because I was on Cool FM, and like Pete and Paolo were like, do you know, like, did you try hard? You know what I mean? Like when you try to impress. And I was like, I sang every song like it was my last song.
Yeah.
Because I literally did. Like I just went for it for like 3.5 hours. Like I was sweating. Like I was doing a proper Bruce Springsteen. Like, and she was loving it. And then I started like, you know, tailoring it to like her liking. So like I know that she's into like
Nice.
So like pick your hand up
What one?
like that. Put it like that. Give yourself a pat on the back.
I thought you were going to show me some like thing you did with her or
I thought
something.
you were gonna high five him or something.
Put your hands up. So yeah, no, she was like up dancing and stuff, and then these couple of people come up to me and they were like probably asking for like Wonderwall or something at the time, and then Taylor Swift just comes up to the stage and the Tipsy Bird with like open arms gave me a hug, and she had like notes like cash in her hand, and she gave me it. And she says, "Take this. This is for you. You deserve it. You're so good. Like, what's your name? Like, who are you?" And I says, "My name's Tiernan Heffron. I'm 22, and I work in a school.
And I want to be a singer.
And I'm going to be a star.
I was like, "I'm feeling 22." No, I was just like, I think with like Niall Horan and with the other Rita Ora, I didn't think I'd make a mistake, but I didn't really stress how much I want it. You know what I mean? How much I really, really want to, if you want to say, make it.
Yeah.
In that way. So I just said to her, like, look, I work in a special needs school as classroom assistant, but I'm working really, 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 really hard on my own music, because out of everything, I want her to know that I'm a songwriter too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because she is one of my favourite artists and songwriters, and I have watched her documentary and I have listened to her albums. I know a lot of her songs, and I love her story, especially with Ed Sheeran and stuff. I know that she took him on tour and broke him in America, so I knew he was.
Yeah.
I knew he
Opportunity
was,
was
you know
there.
what I mean? And, but never did I think that it would happen the way it did, and she gave me that, and it's like I had it frozen in my hand for like the whole time, and I was just like, shit, is it rude to put this in my pocket while I talk to her or like whoever?
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, cheers, thanks for that. But I kept thanking her. I was like, thank you so much for like whatever you give me. Now I didn't know at the time how much it was, what it was, but I was like, thank you so much. And I showed her my Instagram, my Spotify, like right in front of her. I could hardly spell my name. I was like,
Yeah.
and she was like, right, yeah, cool, like I got you. And she actually went to walk away after, because you know what I mean, it's kind of over, like see there. And then she was walking away. I was like, here, can you call her back? So I just got some random person like call Taylor Swift back. So like she was walking away, and like someone was like, Taylor, like she came back, and I'm just like standing there, come here, man. So like I give her like my wee business card, right?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're over there. Are they?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Oh, they're in my
Yeah,
wallet.
there's one there.
Doesn't matter. Oh, there. I was actually going to give you all one each, but like, you know, I'll just rip it. Right. There you go. You got my number. You got my Instagram. You got my Snapchat, right? So now there's plenty more of that came
Got your
from.
email.
So like, no, basically, right. I give her my card. I goes, look, whatever you give me, you know, that's it. But I haven't got much to give you, but I'll give you my card. So I give her my card, and that was it. And then it was cool because like after that happened, I still had like half a set to go, and do you know the difference between her walking in and having to sing to that was unbelievable, because I could even be even better now, because I was like, well, I've did it, like I've won her over, like she's enjoyed my set, she's having a good night, and she kept like leaving the bar, and I thought, oh, she's away, like, do you know what I mean? But she was only going outside to the beer garden and back in and dancing her way back in. It was amazing. And they had this, her and her boyfriend was there too, Joe Baldwin, who is the main actor in the Conversation with Friends that's coming out next year, and you know, they were sitting like really watching my set, and like, you know, they made me feel really warm and welcome, and I was doing a good job. I tell you, like, she clapped after every song. She's singing along. I sang someone like Somebody Like You by Keith Urban, because I know that she opened up for him on tour. So I had all these wee things under my belt that I was able to do.
It's amazing.
That's class.
So I did the rest of my set anyway, and that was it. And I finished my set, and like, can you imagine being in a situation where you have to say cheerio to Taylor Swift? Do you know, like, what do you even say? Like, bye, see you later. Like, do you say see you later? Because I don't know if you're going to see her later. So like, she was just standing with her partner, and I've got my stuff packed down, and I was walking out. But obviously, come on, I had to say see you later.
Yeah.
So I walked up to her.
Right, love, take her easy.
Yeah, take her easy. Don't be going too hard on it tonight, Taylor, in Belfast. You know what I mean? And I says to her, look, thank you so. And she goes, oh my God! And then she gave me another hug, and then she was like, "You're so good, and like you're going to do great, and you're really confident." And she goes, "I heard you singing Ed songs tonight." I was like, "Yeah," and she goes, "Do you know that me and Ed are like besties?" And I'm like,
No.
it's like funny you say that. Everything has changed, and then she's like, yeah, everything has changed. No, and then I was just like, yeah, like she goes, I heard you singing American country music tonight. I was like, yeah, I love that music. That's the type of music that I love to write. And then she goes, this is my partner, Joe. So she introduced me to Joe Aldwin, her partner. I shook his hand. She says, look, me and Joe have actually wrote the past 2 albums together. So like even her telling me that is like really cool. I'm like, wow, like lucky man. do you need a hand? And she said that, and she goes, look, this is you. She goes, do you play here every Friday? Every Friday, every week? I says, yeah, I play every week. She goes, this is you putting in your 10,000 hours. This is how I started, this is how Ed started. She goes, you knew what to do if a string breaks, you knew what to do if someone shouts something, you knew what. She just started naming all these stuff off. And then I knew in my head, right, I'm doing okay here. I haven't said anything like that I'm gonna regret. Like, do you know what I mean? I haven't asked too much. Just leave it. And then I was like, nah. I was like, here. So do you remember you said about me like hearing one of my own songs? She's like, look, my management and I can't really be giving out personal information, but and then she got my wee card and she said, I've got your card, I know your name, I loved what you did, I enjoyed your set, you made my night, I'm going to look into you, see what you're doing, and send you positive vibes your way. And that was the last thing that she ever said. And then I walked home.
You walked home the route.
I walked out.
Such a high.
I'm walking home. No, I was going to say I walked out, I walked away, and yeah, it was amazing.
So, like, obviously following on from that, you've done a lot of interviews, and then you'd went in Capital FM.
Yeah, it was crazy because she asked me, the one thing she said to me was, can you please hold off 3 days before posting the selfie? Because when we were chatting, she was like, can we get a selfie together? So like she asked me for a selfie. Like,
fair enough.
And I just turned around to her and I just said, like, just like I was talking to you lads, I was like, here, can we get a few please? Because I might not like how I look in one of these, and I'm going to regret that. And she was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm really good at selfies. Like, and then she took a selfie, and she asked me to not put it up for 3 days. I waited for a few days to put it up, obviously, but I love telling my friends. You know what I mean? Because like, what a story to tell. Like, so I'd ring people up and be like, here, guess what? Like, Taylor's sister's at my gig last night, and like they didn't believe it. They were like, no way. And I went to my best mate Aiden's house. Like the night that it happened, after it's like 3 o'clock, I like called in and like I was like telling them about it, and like we just couldn't believe it. This is crazy. Like, and then I came home, and then I remember at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was just sitting playing the piano in my room, and it wasn't even like I went home and I sat in my bed and I itched my head and I couldn't believe what happened and I freaked out, or I was just so content and happy, and she was just such a lovely woman and lovely person.